Step softly into the wonderland of early cinema, and join us at Quality Silent Films, where the flicker of light on celluloid carries laughter and imagination across the decades. Today, we travel back to 1918, to a two-reel comedy that brims with audacious stunts and clever mischief. At the helm was Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle, a pioneer of physical comedy whose nimble timing and inventive gags helped shape the silent era. Alongside him shines Buster Keaton, an emerging talent then, with a stone-faced wit and astonishing skill for stunts, already hinting at the legendary career that lay ahead. Together, they crafted a world where laughter thrives even in the most unexpected circumstances. Our film Moonshine is more than a playful romp. At its heart, it examines the clash between law and lawlessness, the absurdities of authority, and the spirited resilience of those living on the fringes of society. The film's satire of Prohibition-era moonshiners, combined with its inventive visual humor, offers a window into the enduring tension between order and rebellion. Even today, viewers can appreciate the timeless humor in the struggle against rigid systems, the joy of clever mischief, and the delight of seeing ordinary characters triumph in unexpected ways. Arbuckle and Keaton's physical comedy transcends time, proving that laughter is universal and that ingenuity often finds its stage in the most chaotic settings. In 1918, the world was teetering on the edge of profound change. The influenza pandemic swept across continents, touching every corner of daily life and reminding audiences of the fragility of existence. On the battlefields of Europe, the First World War pressed on, shaping history with every engagement. In the skies above, the death of the famed Red Baron, Manfred von Richthofen, marked the end of an era in aerial combat, forever etching his story into legend. Amidst these turbulent events, films like Moonshine offered a moment of relief, a chance to laugh and marvel at human creativity. The story of Moonshine revolves around a daring pursuit, revenue agents navigating the rugged hills to confront a gang of elusive moonshiners. The emotional stakes are surprisingly high for a short comedy. Danger, clever reversals, and romantic intrigue intertwine with pratfalls, explosions, and inventive stunts. It's a world where physical daring meets clever narrative twists, keeping audiences on the edge of their seats and hearts light with anticipation. Stay with the film until the final frame, because beyond the laughs lie fascinating stories of its making, the clever minds behind its creation, and the social world it reflects. We will explore how Arbuckle's inventive gags and Keaton's daring performances reshaped comedy, and how even a two-reel short can reveal so much about early 20th century life and cinematic innovation. So settle into your seat, allow the flickering images to carry you back to 1918, and enjoy Moonshine with the perspective of history and the delight of timeless humor. Let this century-old comedy remind us that the spark of imagination and the joy of clever storytelling never truly fade. The final image fades, the last intertitle disappears, and what lingers after Moonshine is a burst of reckless joy, that strange blend of slapstick, absurdity, and early cinematic invention that only 1910s comedy could deliver. It's a black and white cocktail of pine woods, bootleggers, mountain trails, and a grin that refuses to fade. Beneath all the chaos, there's a quiet reminder, even the roughest gags carry a little humanity. At the center of Moonshine is Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle. Director, co-writer, and one of the film's two stars. Born March 24, 1887 in Smith Center, Kansas, Arbuckle rose from vaudeville stages and stock theater to become one of Keystone's leading comic talents. By 1917 he had formed the Comique Film Company with producer Joseph M. Sheik, gaining the freedom to shape his own comedies from the ground up. Audiences were consistently astonished by his agility. Despite his size, Arbuckle moved with a dancer's precision, and his creativity helped shape the grammar of early screen comedy. His influence reached far beyond his own films. He brought new performers into the medium, refined physical humor, and helped define what the American film comedy could be. Beside him here is a young Buster Keaton, born Joseph Frank Keaton on October 4, 1895. Moonshine is part of the earliest period of his film career, shortly after his debut in another Arbuckle short. Within months, he had become Arbuckle's trusted comic partner, contributing gags, performing dangerous stunts, and quietly reshaping scenes in the cutting room. In Moonshine, you can already see the beginnings of his legendary deadpan expression and flawless timing. Years later he would craft feature-length masterpieces, but this film captures the moment when Keaton was first learning to bend film physics to his will. The supporting cast includes Al St. John, Arbuckle's nephew, born September 10, 1892. Known for his athletic stunts and rubber-limbed physical comedy, St. John later reinvented himself as the bearded Western sidekick, Fuzzy Q. Jones, becoming a fixture of low-budget sound-era westerns. In Moonshine, his rough mountain-man antics add a lively counterpoint to Arbuckle's smooth confidence and Keaton's stoic straight-man routine. Alice Lake appears as the Moonshiner's daughter and romantic lead. Born September 12, 1895 in Brooklyn, she began in dance before moving to films around 1912. Lake frequently starred opposite Arbuckle in the late 1910s and later pursued dramatic roles in silent features. Like many performers, her career faded with the rise of sound, but in Moonshine she contributes charm and warmth, a reminder of the many silent-era actresses who animated early Hollywood even if history records their names less often. Production-wise, Moonshine is notable for its ambition. Shot partly on location in the hills near Los Angeles, including San Gabriel Canyon, and partly at the Balboa studio lot in Long Beach, the film packs stunts, location work, a cliffside showdown, and even a cabin explosion into its too-real, 23-minute runtime. Distributed by Paramount Pictures and carrying production number A3110, the short demonstrates Arbuckle's willingness to experiment with form as well as story. One of the film's most memorable elements is its playful self-awareness. In an era when movies rarely acknowledged their own construction, Moonshine breaks the fourth wall. Arbuckle interrupts the narrative through intertitles, joking that there isn't time to build a proper love story because this is only a two-reeler. That kind of meta-humor was unusual in 1918 and suggests that early filmmakers were already testing the limits of what movies could do. Several gags were achieved through clever in-camera tricks. The clown car moment, where an impossible number of armed men burst out of Buster's tiny vehicle, was created through masking part of the frame, rewinding the film, and exposing the other side. The cabin explosion was shot normally and then reversed, creating the surreal effect of the blasted structure reassembling itself before Arbuckle calmly steps out. Culturally, Moonshine arrived in 1918, a tense year marked by war overseas and looming pandemic. Against that backdrop, a fast, chaotic comedy about moonshiners and bumbling revenuers offered pure escape. Today, even in its surviving state, mostly from a contrasty 16mm reduction print, Moonshine remains accessible through home video collections of Arbuckle and Keaton shorts. Viewers tend to appreciate it for its ambition, its energetic pace, and its place in the evolution of screen comedy. Looking at the lives of its makers offers a bittersweet perspective. Arbuckle's career would soon be shattered by scandal. Despite his acquittal, Keaton would soar, stumble, and rise again. St. John would thrive in character roles for decades, and Alice Lake's career would fade as Hollywood transformed. Their paths reflect how turbulent and fragile early film careers could be. In the end, Moonshine survives not just as a slapstick romp, but as a snapshot of a moment when movies were still discovering themselves. The stunts, the rural mayhem, the sly nods to the audience, they remind us that early filmmakers were inventing a new language, one reel at a time. If this short brought you even a flicker of joy, then its century-old mission still succeeds. And here at Quality Silent Films, we'll keep shining a light on these early treasures, as long as the screen continues to flicker.